In the hustle and bustle of life, it is easy to lose sight of what truly matters. We often get caught up in worldly pursuits, our jobs, our families, our personal goals, and sometimes forget that our primary purpose in this world is to worship and serve Allah. We are not here by chance. We have been created with a specific mission: to live a life that pleases Allah, to fulfill our duties to Him, and to follow the path of righteousness. However, in this journey of life, the people we surround ourselves with play a huge role in shaping our actions, attitudes, and behaviors. This is why it is crucial to be mindful of the company we keep. There are certain individuals who neglect their duties to Allah, those who have no concern for their prayers, who disregard the importance of seeking knowledge, and who fail to fulfill their religious obligations. Their actions can easily mislead us, causing us to forget our purpose and lead a life of spiritual neglect. In this video, we will discuss why it is so important to stay away from people who neglect their duties to Allah, how their influence can affect us, and the consequences of ignoring our obligations to our Creator. Throughout this discussion, we will explore the importance of fulfilling our duties to Allah, the impact of neglecting them, and how our relationships with others can either help us grow closer to Allah or push us away from Him. So, let's see why it is crucial to avoid those who neglect their duties to Allah and how we can protect ourselves from their influence. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Deen Explorers for more content like this. 1. Stay away from people who ask you for your wealth without need. We live in a world where some people, unfortunately, will ask for money for selfish reasons or out of greed. They may not have any genuine need, but instead seek to exploit others' kindness for their own personal gain. Allah has warned us about this in the Quran. The act of giving is noble, but it must come from a place of sincerity. It should not be used by others to manipulate, control, or take advantage of us. We are encouraged to give charity to those who truly need it, but we must also be wise in recognizing when someone is not genuinely in need. It's also vital to understand that wealth is a test from Allah. He may give us abundance to see how we will use it, whether we will spend it wisely or waste it on things that are not beneficial. One of the most important lessons in managing wealth is learning not to allow others to drain us emotionally, mentally, or financially. We should be mindful of our own resources and ensure that our wealth is used in ways that align with Allah's teachings, helping those who truly deserve it. Sometimes, people may try to guilt-trip you or make you feel responsible for their financial problems. They may say things like, "You're the only one who can help," or "You have enough, so why not share?" While it's important to show compassion and care for others, it's equally important to set boundaries. You have the right to protect your wealth from being misused, just as you have the right to help those who are truly in need. Moreover, when we become too generous with people who take advantage of us, we are essentially helping them to continue in a pattern of dependency and irresponsibility. This can create a cycle where they no longer learn to rely on themselves, and this dependency can harm both them and us in the long run. Instead of enabling them, it is often more beneficial to offer guidance, encourage self-sufficiency, and help them find solutions that do not solely rely on the generosity of others. We must also remember that true wealth in Islam is not measured by how much money we have, but by how we use what we have been given. The more we give in the way of Allah, the more blessings we will receive. But these blessings come not just from the money we give, but from the intention behind it. If our intention is pure and we are sincere in our efforts, Allah will reward us, even if the amount we give is small. We must always be careful when someone asks us for money, especially if they do so frequently and without showing any real need. Islam teaches us to help others, but it also teaches us to be wise and cautious with how we manage our wealth. By staying aware and using our resources responsibly, we can ensure that we are always in line with the values that Allah has set for us, giving when it's right, and staying away from those who seek to take advantage of our generosity. 2. Stay away from people who encourage you to sin. Sin is a heavy burden that can weigh down a person's heart, and it is something that Islam warns us against at every turn. We all know that life is full of challenges, and sometimes we may be tempted to stray from the righteous path. However, one of the most dangerous influences that can pull us further away from Allah are the people around us, the ones who encourage or lead us into sin. These individuals can come in many forms, from friends to family members, colleagues, or even strangers, but they all share one thing in common. They pull us away from the straight path. In Islam, staying away from sin is not just a matter of personal choice, but a matter of protecting one's faith. Allah has given us clear guidance on how to live our lives, and any encouragement to step outside of these guidelines should be recognized as a harmful influence. The importance of choosing the right company cannot be overstated. The people we surround ourselves with play a critical role in shaping our thoughts, actions, and ultimately our fate in this life and the hereafter. Moreover, sin not only affects us in this world, but also in the hereafter. Allah makes it clear that sin has consequences, and those who persist in it without repentance will face His punishment. However, when we are surrounded by people who normalize sin or actively encourage it, we are putting our own salvation at risk. It is easy to justify actions when others around us are doing the same, but we must remember that on the Day of Judgment, we will stand alone before Allah, and we will be accountable for our actions. Staying away from people who encourage us to sin is one of the most important steps we can take to protect our faith. We must recognize the influence that those around us have on our lives and be mindful of the relationships we cultivate. Our ultimate goal should be to please Allah, and that means avoiding the company of those who lead us away from Him. Choose your friends wisely and seek out those who will guide you toward righteousness. 3. Stay away from people who lie and spread rumors. In this world, one of the most destructive forces is falsehood. Lies and rumors can tear apart relationships, damage reputations, and cause unnecessary pain. Islam has always emphasized the importance of truth and the destructive nature of dishonesty. It is no surprise that Allah commands His believers to always speak the truth and avoid spreading falsehood. The Quran is clear on the consequences of those who engage in lying and spreading rumors, and the harm it causes not only to the individual, but also to the wider community. Lying and spreading rumors are also harmful because they can create unnecessary conflict. When people hear rumors, they form judgments based on incomplete or incorrect information. This can lead to quarrels, misunderstandings, and even hatred between individuals or groups. In some cases, rumors can destroy friendships, families, and communities. We must stay away from people who lie and spread rumors. They are a source of harm, not only to others, but to themselves as well. Lying and gossiping are behaviors that destroy trust, damage relationships, and distance us from Allah. As Muslims, we must strive to uphold the values of honesty, integrity, and kindness in all of our interactions. By doing so, we contribute to a more peaceful, loving, and righteous community. May Allah guide us to always speak the truth and avoid the destructive consequences of falsehood. 4. Stay away from people who promote arrogance and pride. Arrogance and pride are two of the most dangerous traits that can corrupt a person's heart and soul. They are not just negative traits, but represent a deep-rooted arrogance against the very essence of being human. Pride blinds individuals to their weaknesses, flaws, and their dependence on Allah. In Islam, humility is one of the highest virtues, and those who allow arrogance to take root in their hearts are walking a dangerous path that can ultimately lead them away from the mercy of Allah. Being around people who promote arrogance and pride can have a profound impact on one's own character, and Islam urges us to stay away from such individuals for our own spiritual well-being. When we think of pride, we often think of individuals who hold themselves in high regard, looking down on others and belittling them. Arrogance is a trait that is associated with self-exaltation and a lack of empathy for others. It is a mentality that leads people to believe they are superior to others based on their wealth, status, knowledge, or personal achievements. Islam teaches us that no matter how much we achieve or how capable we become, we are all ultimately dependent on Allah and His mercy. Staying away from people who promote arrogance and pride is essential for maintaining a humble heart and a strong connection with Allah. Arrogance leads to self-delusion, breaks down relationships, and creates barriers to spiritual growth. By surrounding ourselves with people who promote humility and righteousness, we protect ourselves from these harmful traits and ensure that we remain on the path of true success in this life and the hereafter. May Allah guide us to always remain humble and to avoid the traps of arrogance and pride. Fifth, stay away from people who neglect their duties to Allah. In life, we are all given a set of responsibilities and duties that we must fulfill not only towards our families, friends, and society, but most importantly, towards Allah. Our ultimate purpose in this world is to worship Allah and live a life that pleases Him by following the teachings of Islam. Neglecting our duties to Allah is not just a minor mistake. It is a serious spiritual issue that can lead to a loss of blessings and a distance from the mercy of Allah. It is essential for us to be mindful of the people we surround ourselves with, as their actions and behaviors have a profound impact on our own hearts and minds. The companions we choose can either help us remain focused on our worship and duties to Allah, or can lead us astray. People who neglect their duties to Allah often make excuses for not performing their religious obligations. They may claim that they are too busy with work, studies, or personal matters, but in reality, they are prioritizing the wrong things. The world will always present us with distractions, and it is up to us to make time for what truly matters. Allah is the one who gives us success and sustenance, and it is He who has given us the time and energy to fulfill our duties. Therefore, it is essential to recognize the value of our religious obligations and not fall into the trap of neglecting them. Surrounding ourselves with people who neglect their duties to Allah can lead us to fall into the same mindset. We may begin to prioritize worldly success and material wealth over our religious duties, forgetting the true purpose of our existence. This is why it is so crucial to choose our companions wisely. People who are consistent in their worship, who encourage us to pray on time, to fast during Ramadan, to give charity, and to remember Allah in our daily lives, are the ones who will help us grow closer to Allah. They will remind us of our purpose and motivate us to stay on the right path. It is essential to stay away from people who neglect their duties to Allah, as their actions can lead us astray and cause us to lose sight of our true purpose in life. Neglecting our religious obligations can have serious consequences in this life and the hereafter. By choosing companions who are committed to their worship and who remind us of our duties to Allah, we can stay focused on our path and continue to grow spiritually. May Allah guide us all to fulfill our duties to Him and to stay away from those who lead us away from His remembrance and worship. As we conclude this discussion, remember that our relationship with Allah is the most important aspect of our lives. Surrounding ourselves with people who neglect their duties to Allah can lead us away from our purpose and cause us to lose sight of what truly matters. Always strive to choose companions who help you stay focused on your worship, who encourage you to fulfill your religious obligations, and who remind you of the importance of staying connected to Allah. May Allah guide us all to fulfill our duties to Him and protect us from the influence of those who lead us astray. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Deen Explorers for more insightful content that helps us grow in our faith. Stay blessed, and always remember, your connection with Allah should be your top priority in everything you do.